So, as we've been kind of alluding to, Starfield comes out tomorrow, and if you've noticed, this whole episode has been very Bethesda oriented. So we figured it might be fun to do a Bethesda tier list of our favorite IPs that Bethesda has had over the years. So let me move on over. So I got the old school Doom music. I should turn it off, right? I don't know. Well, we can leave it if you guys
I
don't
have
hear
mute
it.
on my end as long as it's not too loud.
It's not that loud.
I think we had discussed doing like all the games, but I feel like we would be here forever if we did like every Elder Scrolls, every Fallout, all of it. So it'll be a little tough, I think, to move some of these in different tiers, but let's see where we're at. I have not played all of these.
I was going to say, there's some I have not even played.
I haven't even touched Deathloop, Ghostwire. Like, I haven't touched any of those.
Phoenix is the only one that's played Deathloop. So if you're the only one who's played it, your opinion you get to decide where it goes. I guess if none of us have played it, maybe we should just leave it out, right?
Yeah, we won't rank it.
Alrighty, so starting off things with Hi-Fi Rush. Is this the newest title on here? Other than Deathloop, yeah. This game actually came out this year, so earlier this year. This is a new IP from Bethesda. And this game was pretty popular amongst most people. Like, I feel like it was like in the 80s, A lot of people were enjoying it. So, Hi-Fi Rush. Gamer, did you play Hi-Fi?
I saw lots of like people playing. That's it.
Okay.
And it looks super fun. Like it looks super fun.
I had a ton of fun with Hi-Fi Rush. So for me personally, Phoenix, I would say a B.
I'm with B. Yeah.
You're with B?
It's definitely looking at the rest of the IP, not like the pinnacle of it. I was a little, I think, more muted on Hi-Fi Rush than you were.
I liked it a little more.
It surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I don't know, maybe the music aspect of it didn't quite sync with me all the way through, but it was definitely a fun game, and I think the style was probably the biggest thing. It had a lot of personality, a lot of color, so it was a fun few hours to run through, and it just kind of dropped out of nowhere, so that was nice. Yeah, B. Happy with that.
Okay. Now, moving on to a really interesting one. Is this the oldest title that Bethesda has? Doom? Old school or Doom? Or Wolfenstein. No, Wolfenstein came out before Doom, I think.
Wolfenstein first.
Yeah. So, yeah. I would say I don't have much experience with old school Doom, but I have a lot of...
Well, this is Doom as an IP.
That's what I'm saying, is I love Doom 2016. That game's awesome. So that game alone, for me, would have me put it like A or B, I think, somewhere in there. What do you guys... Well, you guys probably have more experience with Doom. A little older.
I like me a good Doom. Like, I mean, they're pretty good.
Did you play 2016?
I didn't play this 2016.
Oh, it's so good. I love that game.
Yeah.
Well, Doom is just so iconic, especially when you think about what it was at the time. Like, I think the impact of that game is more important than Hi-Fi Rush. So, I mean, I don't know if this means we need to drop Hi-Fi Rush down at some point, but for right now, I think Doom is higher in terms of, impact and quality. So I'd say A for right now.
One cool thing I love is if you go back and you listen, what's his name? Is it John Romero or George Romero? One of them is an director and one of them is the game. It's George Romero.
I think John Romero.
John Romero.
George Romero, I think, is the director.
The zombie movie. The zombie movie guy. Yeah. One cool thing I always loved about Doom is I ended up finding out later on is that all of the music in Doom is like all kind of ripped off from like classical metal music. So like metal songs from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they're just like kind of spoofed over into like new music, which is kind of funny, like Ozzy Osbourne and stuff. Or Black Sabbath. Interesting.
Straight up plagiarized.
So you guys say S or A? I was good with A. No. Alright, so Phoenix is the only one that's played Deathloop. Where would you say Deathloop goes, Phoenix? This was a newer title, right?
Man.
Came out last year.
Yeah.
Got really good reviews. Did you like it more than Hi-Fi?
I did.
But is it as good as Doom?
I'm trying to think if I really think objectively. It's not as good as Doom. No, it's definitely lower than Doom. I think it's probably going to sit in between the two for me.
So Hi-Fi would put to C.
Deathloop had a... Yeah, I know Deathloop's one of those games that... I mean, it got 10 by IGN. That still baffles me. Like, it was a good game. there was something just awry there during that review. So fun game, a lot of fun systems. I did enjoy it more than Hi-Fi. So I guess I'd drop Hi-Fi to C for right now if we're looking at it in comparison to the other ones. I hate to say Hi-Fi Rush is a C because I don't think it's like a mid-game.
I don't think it's a mid-game.
But
It's like a... Hi-Fi is like borderline. It's like mid, but like just above that, I think. But we don't have like one in between B and C, so I think I'm fine with C.
I mean, compared to some of the other games that are on this list, yeah.
C is a passing grade.
Yeah, we're gonna have some room to move around.
Yeah, I can see how I could drop.
Yeah. Now, this is a series I've never played. Quake. What about you guys?
Quake.
I played some of the old Quakes. Yeah,
that's old school, man. That's old school.
I'll tell you, for me, Quake never had as big of an impact. Like, I definitely had a couple of LAN parties where Quake was, a good time, but
it was no Doom.
That,
like
it was no Doom. It was always in the shadow of Doom for me, and it served a slightly different role. So I mean, I hate to even butt them up like that, but for me personally, I was never in love with Quake a huge amount. So C, maybe.
What about you,
someone's gonna love Quake and hate me for it, but
C or B?
I mean, Quake is a special game. Like
it is.
That's a. Man, I haven't played that.
So you guys fight it out, B or C? How do we determine?
It's hard too, because this is the full IP too. So like with Deathloop, you got one game to base it on, but Quake, you've got all the history there too.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a B on that one because there's a lot to Quake besides just
Phoenix. Good with a B.
Quake 2.
Yeah, I won't argue it. I'll tell you, that's a weird one because that's been somewhat of a dead IP for a little while. They have not done much with Quake at all.
There's been rumors that they're working on. No, there's rumors that they're working on a new Quake. It's just.
Oh, are they? I don't even know. Mm-hmm. I know that was one of those games that you can like level edit. And that was really fun. Like,
yeah,
you can make.
It had a really fun community around it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm okay with B.
Okay. So this is a really interesting one because it didn't the Rage. If you don't know the original or the Rage, I guess both games. I'm only played the first one, but the original Rage, it didn't review particularly well. I had positive memories of this game. I remember really enjoying it. It wasn't like amazing, but for me it was a fun, I think it was like 15-20 hour game. I really enjoyed it.
I remember not being able to get into it.
Really?
Like I played it for probably 2 hours, and this was a very different time, so I didn't give it maybe a big enough chance, but it didn't hook me right off the bat. I don't know. Something about maybe the mechanics were a little weird.
I feel like I played it at around the time Borderlands was big, and they're both like wastelandy, kind of like not super serious kind of shooters, and obviously I like Borderlands more, but I feel like I was just like, I thought it was fun enough. Like for me, I'd say C. I think it's a fun time. I had fun with it. I finished it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, from what I remember of the little I played, sure. I mean, Hi-Fi Rush level. So good, not great. Kind of right above that mid threshold. I'd be safe putting it there.
I don't even remember how the newer one reviewed. I don't remember anyone who played Rage 2.
I know it did not sell well because they were giving that game away at a certain point. So I can't imagine we're going to see a lot from that IP for a little while, for better or for worse.
What about you, gamer? Have you played Rage?
I have not played Rage. I'm just hearing about this. I'm like, what
it feels almost like it's like Mad Max mixed with Borderlands somewhere in there. It's a little more serious than those, than Borderlands.
Sounds like it would be a fun idea for a game. But...
It's a fun idea, is it? But it's not.
I think you kind of hit it, Chaz. Like the time it came out, right around Borderlands, and Borderlands just
much better
took off.
Yeah.
Like because it had, I think, a multiplayer element to it, the RPG aspect. You had, had more comedic aspects, especially when you got the 2. I think Rage just kind of got lost in there a little bit.
It almost feels
and just didn't stand out.
It almost feels kind of Fallout-y because you're like a surviving person from a different era. You survive through technology and you awaken and the world is all terrible. It's kind of Fallout 3-ish. But so see?
Yeah, but no RPG element. It's just straight
it's just straight shooter.
So a lot more linear.
I'm good with the C. Alright, Redfall F. Moving on to Evil Within.
I mean, yeah, right? We can't do anything else beyond that. I feel sad because I feel like...
I feel bad for that game, kind of.
Yeah, there might have been a world where there was more there, but in my little bit of time playing with you, Chaz, it definitely did not impress. So,
considering that's like that's a current gen title, it's just like, wow, really? Like, I don't know.
Yep, no, it's on the bottom of the barrel, unfortunately.
Quack.
Yeah, unfortunately. Evil Within. This is a horror franchise that, from what I remember this series was created by the former guy who made like the first few Resident Evil games. Was it Shinji Mikami? Is that his name? I can't remember. I don't know why I remember his name. I think Shinji Mikami. I'll look it up if you guys want to talk.
I know
Metal's our Japanese developer expert, so he would know.
I wouldn't know this one.
No? Disappointing.
I'm sorry.
I haven't played this because it's a spoopy game. And
Shinji
I can't
Mikami.
Spoopy game? Like spooky and poopy at the same time?
Yeah, it's scary.
I was right. Shinji Mikami. He made he actually was the guy behind Hi-Fi Rush, and then he stepped down. Basically, retired.
Oh yeah, I think
he retired. Yeah.
I have no frame of reference for these. I haven't played either. I probably never will because I'm a baby man.
I think I played it. I think I started the very first game, and I was not digging it. I don't remember. I would say D, but that's just my opinion. I think I only played maybe an hour or two of the first game.
Can't counteract it.
It never intrigued me.
I started it, and I think I played it a long time ago, so forgive me. I don't know. I'll stick with D. I think they made a sequel.
Yeah, there's an Evil Within 2. I feel like critically they did okay. I don't think either of them were fantastic for whatever reason.
Yeah. All right, so another interesting one, Dishonored. I think I played the first one and only started the second one.
I've only played the first.
I really enjoyed the first one. For me, I would say B, but that's just because I think I liked it more than Hi-Fi and Rage. I don't think it's as good as Doom, but for me personally, I would say B.
I'm trying to think if I liked it better than Deathloop. Probably yes. I think Deathloop has, I don't know, there's definitely a little more there as far as like the time loop system I enjoyed, but I think the general like gameplay loop, like the stealth aspect and whatnot, is a little more fun in Dishonored. So it's definitely B. I'm arguing if maybe A. I'd be fine with either of those, but
if I putting it at A when for me it's only based on one game.
That's fair. I won't argue that. I mean, I think there's an argument to be made because I think better than Deathloop. But what else do we have in there? Quake.
We still got some good stuff in here. I would say B, but so I don't know. What do you want? You want A or B?
B is perfectly fine.
Okay. Because I think that's right. Like on par with like some of the better titles, but better than Hi-Fi and Rage. Definitely better than Hi-Fi and Rage, I think.
I am curious if this is one of those, if we had played both, because I know a lot of people love the second one, especially like
I love the first
quote,
one.
DLC, whatever it was. I know people really loved that, so I'm curious if like we had the big picture, if we put it a little bit higher, but yeah, I think B is safe.
Alright, so I think this is my favorite, probably Bethesda series. We are at the Elder Scrolls. For me, I would have to say S, but that's solely off of loving Oblivion and Skyrim. I'm not familiar with like Morrowind or the previous titles. What about you guys with Elder Scrolls?
You'd like Morrowind. It's just a lot more reading.
What's the best way to play that? I have the Xbox version. I'm assuming PC. Just playing the old school PC.
Play PC, man. PC all the way. I don't know, man.
Get some mods, boost it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Man, I really like Elder Scrolls.
I think it's Elder Scrolls is me personally. It's S. It's my favorite Bethesda series.
Even with all the mess ups, like all the little goofy crap that they messed up with in the games, they're just.
Wasn't Oblivion the first game title to have? Was it horse armor? Is that the first like major DLC?
It was like one of the first like DLC controversies
that came out.
Or
whatever. Not scam, but.
I'd say S. Like, that's one of the few up here that I feel like just about every entry is really good. Like, I don't think many people could argue against most of them. I have not played Daggerfall, which was like, what, Elder Scrolls 2?
Isn't that the first
Elder
one?
Scrolls 1. Is it 1? Or no, there's like a, well, maybe. There's a battle arena or something, which is like 1 or 2. I always mix those up. I didn't play either of those. But yeah, 3, I played Morrowind. I loved Oblivion. Oblivion's my favorite. Like, I love Skyrim for, I think, the same reasons most people do, but there's something about Oblivion. Like, it is very special.
Skyrim is
it's got a different tone. Huh?
So Skyrim's probably my favorite, but Oblivion I haven't played in a long time.
Yeah, Skyrim, I think maybe it was just the setting or whatnot. It just, the tone was a little more muted for certain things, maybe. I don't know. There's a quirkiness to Oblivion that I really liked. I don't know. I also spent probably the most time in Oblivion. It was like my first big Elder Scrolls that I'd played, so huge fan of that. But I mean, they're all great. Like, Skyrim is great. I mean, no matter how you cut it. I mean, I think Oblivion could be better in my opinion.
They've released that game like 20 times. That's how great it is.
I mean, I think it's overhyped. Like, they overhyped the heck out of Skyrim. I love Skyrim though, but
yeah,
they just overhyped it too much, and it doesn't belong in every system. Get out of here. But you know what? Yeah,
it's popular. It's accessible. It's a fun game. It's easy to hop into. Like, I think those are all the reasons. Like, it is an easy game to get into, start a new character, and just start having fun.
Get lost.
Some of the other games I think have a longer kind of get up and going kind of, like, even Oblivion I feel like it's a little longer to kind of get up and going. The world is a little harder to kind of get acclimated to at first. So yeah, I mean, they're all great. I agree. S tier.
Just to throw it in, just to kind of keep off the Elder Scrolls talk. What a magical time for me when I first got my Xbox 360. Like, amongst my first titles I played was like titles like Orange Box, Oblivion, the original Gears. It's just like, going back, you're just like, oh, like, how many great games all at once. Mass Effects, like, I don't know. Incredible time.
Yeah, early 360 generation, some great stuff. I mean, you could argue a lot of else came out on PS3 too, but no, I was in the same boat with you.
Okay, magical so I actually played Prey, never finished it. I wasn't as big on it as Phoenix, but I know Phoenix really enjoyed this one.
I love Prey.
Was that good?
And
I didn't get to play that at
all. And it's more, not even just the gameplay. The gameplay, I think, is fine. I really liked the story. It's kind of Bioshocky, System Shocky, but like the intro is so good. The ending's good. Like, I don't know. It's a really fun narrative with some really cool twists and turns.
I'd say B.
And some like WTF moments. I want to say A. I didn't play it, but I heard the Moon Crash DLC
I heard
is
it was
like
really good. Yeah,
amazing. Like, whatever Deathloop did well, that DLC did so much better.
Well, you finished the game, so if you say A, I'll go A. I never finished it. I just really liked it. I thought it was good.
I would say A. Like, for me, and once again, people want different things at different games. I like Prey as good, if not better, than Doom. But that's, once again, very much personal preference. Very different types of games, but that was a great immersive sim.
Now, we have to take into account the original Prey. Does that weigh it? No, I'm kidding. We don't. Was that a Bethesda?
That wasn't even a Bethesda
I don't think that
game,
was Bethesda. Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember. I feel like they bought the IP, and then they were forced to basically throw the name on it. It was supposed to be a completely different game, too. I think that's what's interesting about it. Prey was never supposed to be Prey. It was something else, but... Yeah, they made them throw the Prey name on top of it.
Well, remember, there was technically a Prey 2 that got canned. I remember seeing the trailer for that at like an E3 one year. I remember being like, whoa, never came out.
That was an early 360 game too, the original Prey.
Yeah. All
Indian
right.
Alien.
So this one, I have no frame of reference. Hexen. I only know that Phil Spencer, this is like his favorite game. Phil Spencer, he made a joke that he made Microsoft buy Bethesda because he loves Hexen. So, anybody play Hexen?
You ever play Hexen?
Yes, I have.
He's zoned out.
Sorry, man. No, I'm not zoning out. I'm watching my child.
Same thing.
Hexen, man, that's an old game.
Hexen
man.
or your child?
I think that was supposed to be like a Descent type game.
Really? What era is this? This looks like a PC, right? This has got to be 90s PC.
Yeah, that's a PC, strictly PC
90s
game.
PC.
I think I remember being pretty good, but it's been a long time. I'm gonna call it like, man, if I mean, I can play it safe and put a B because that one was pretty good from what I remember. Okay. I'm just gonna call it.
I
have no reference.
I would venture to say it's hard to be worse. anything worse than Hi-Fi Rush and Rage, I don't know. I feel like that's like
That's the cutoff.
That's the cutoff. Evil Within and Redfall, once you get DF, that's where it's like, I don't know. All right, so I don't think any of us have played Ghostwire Tokyo.
No, I wanted to. I mean, I heard the reviews were pretty middling on it, unfortunately. It looked really cool, though. I thought the aesthetic was neat. I just heard it was kind of dull and monotonous.
Was that the one with the cell phone hacking and all that nonsense?
No, you're thinking of Watch Dogs, maybe.
Watch Dogs, yeah.
Oh,
no, this one you had like the weird like
it's first person
kung fu magic hands. Yeah, you did like, weird symbols and like you fought weird Japanese ghosts. Like the style looked really cool. It was like neon ghost nonsense, cyberpunky thing. Like, it was cool looking.
It's in the same boat as Deathloop, where it's the final games that Bethesda put out before they got purchased by Microsoft. So they had like they had like a PlayStation technically had a, what is it? They were exclusivity for the first year or two of those games coming out. Okay, so moving on to Wolfenstein. I actually really liked, was it the New Order?
Was it? The early 360 one. Yeah, I think it was New Order.
New Order. That one was really fun. So for me, I would say...
I still remember the old original Wolfenstein too. Yeah, I like the old one.
It doesn't like shooting Nazis. Come on.
Yeah.
I would say based off the New Order, I really enjoyed that one. But also, there was a newer one with the daughters that I heard was not
Youngblood, was that it? I heard that was not good.
I haven't played it, so I can't account for that one.
I don't like it as much as Doom, so I can't put it up an A. I think B is probably safe. I'm hesitant to put it down with C, because I know it's got some heft to it. The name Wolfenstein is kind of big. Yeah. Well, I'd say B, honestly.
That's the game.
Like, I think
that's like a game before Doom. Oh no, after.
Yeah.
Or,
I think it was before.
I think it's before Doom.
Yeah, it was before.
I think Wolfenstein as an IP is probably better and more significant than like Deathloop. So it's at least probably I think on the same level as like Quake. So I think B is probably safe.
So this is interesting. Yeah. This one, in my opinion, decides whether we only have one S. So we have the Fallout series in general.
So here's what I find interesting about this one. The first two were not Bethesda.
Yeah.
So I am almost hesitant to even count them. Like if I'm thinking, okay, the Bethesda Fallouts, you got 3. You got, now do we count New Vegas?
New Vegas is Obsidian.
Because New Vegas was published, but it was Obsidian. Granted, a lot of these other companies, like Bethesda Game Studios, didn't make all these games. Like Arcane made them, stuff like that, but they're within the same house. Obsidian wasn't. They were kind of brought in as a weird partnership. So if I really think about this, I would almost only say your Bethesda Fallout games are
3 or
4? 4, and 76.
I mean, I heard the 76 got a little bit better.
Got like Fallout Shelter, but yeah, I've heard it's good now.
So does Fallout?
But you know, if you wrap,
so does Fallout 3 alone? Can that make it an S? I don't know.
No, not on the level. That. Not saying it can be so it can't be an S for. I'll tell you, like personally, for me,
it needs to be more than 1 because it's an IP as a whole.
Yeah, if these were individual games, for me, Fallout 3 is gonna either be on par with or better than Oblivion, just because I have like a really big nostalgia for it. Okay, and that's not objective by any means.
4 brought that down for me a little bit. Like, if anything,
4 was good.
I really liked 4.
It wasn't as great as 3 though.
No,
4 felt a little hollow to me. Like there was a lot of wasted potential there. Like the game always felt a little unfinished. Like I remember just like when I went out into like the water, the ocean, it was just like nothing out there. I'm like, they had stuff in older games. You had like the Mirelurk people that could chase you down out there. So like 4 always felt a little off. And then you have all the nonsense with 76. It seemed like it's great now potentially, but it was not at first. So put that how you will. If you want to wrap New Vegas in here, you can. I mean, for many people, that whole package, especially with New Vegas included, that's S tier. And I can totally understand that. I like Fallout as a game typically better than Elder Scrolls in a lot of ways, but really, I am just thinking it's pretty much Fallout 3 kind of holding up the whole thing for me. That can't compete to Oblivion and Skyrim and Morrowind. So if you want to put S, I don't blame you. I'm going to say A.
I would say A. Plus, it's kind of nice. Just I don't know. It's nice. I think having the one
have one superior game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely get the argument.
This argument
it would be fun.
It's the biggest. I think it's the biggest argument when it comes to Bethesda is: do you prefer Elder Scrolls or Fallout? That's always the thing people always say is most people enjoy one more than the other. I personally love both of them, but I do agree. I think I like the fantasy aspect of Elder Scrolls a little bit more.
I think what may shift this around too, if you do look, like I said, I kind of excluded 1 and 2 from this because those were not Bethesda games. That was, oh man, I can't remember. Interplay? Is that what the original Delver?
They were the top ones.
I mean, now if we include those in it, now I might be swayed.
I've never played those, so.
I didn't play much of 1. I played a good amount of 2, and that was really no I did. Well, I played 2, but it was way after I played.
Those
3,
are more like
so it was kind of weird.
Those are more like Diablo games, right? Style, not like exactly.
Well, yes and no. I mean,
they click
different.
to attack and click.
Yeah, more RTS style kind of stuff. Well, not RTS, not even that. But point being, I think if you're going to consider those, which I think most people probably would, then I think you could probably put both at S. I think it's a probably pretty level playing field. If you say all the Fallouts, no matter who created them, and all the Elder Scrolls. But if I'm thinking just Bethesda, Bethesda has had a hand in every single Elder Scrolls. They have not in every Fallout. So that's my justification.
I just thought about it, but Bethesda doesn't own Obsidian, right? Microsoft owns Obsidian, and they're two separate. So, okay, so I'm making sure.
Which is why I said I have a hard time counting New Vegas in this. I mean, that was just like they used the Bethesda engine from 3, but they did something completely different. And Bethesda was not happy either, if I remember. They were not happy with the Obsidian.
Because that would be crazy if you could add in, like you were saying, oh gosh, what was the... I'm already free... Oh, Outer Worlds, or... And then, like, I don't know, was it the South Park series? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be interesting times.
Obsidian... Man, we should rank Obsidian games one day, because there's some excellent Obsidian games.
Well, they have, like, what, Pillars of Eternity, and they have all sorts of, like, crazy RPGs.
Yeah. No, I would tell you, and I think a lot of people lean in this camp. I think Obsidian makes some better RPGs in a lot of senses. Like, yeah, you got the Elder Scrolls here, which I think helps hold up Bethesda, but man, Obsidian does some awesome stuff. They're gonna
have the next Elder Scrolls like game out before Elder Scrolls with Avowed. Avowed is supposed to be like a Elder Scrolls light kind of, but yeah. So I don't know. That's our list. Hopefully everyone can enjoy Starfield tomorrow. I know the official release is out, and I'll get to start playing it. What do you guys think of Bethesda IPs? We'd love to know if you hated any of our selections or you'd move anything anywhere else. So, we are done with our main topic. So, what do you guys have going on?